The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Green Sports Zone. This is the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the court with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. We'll recap both the Rebels' trips in their Christmas tournaments over in Cherokee, or in Rogersville at the Big H Barbecue Classic, and down in Florida. But first, we need to get a word in from our sponsors first. So we'll be right back after these quick messages here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, Gary's Paint and Body Shop, and by First Horizon Bank.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the court with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, joined here with Rebels head coach Terry Hoese. Coach, it's been a minute.
Yes, it has.
How was the holiday season?
It was good.
Went through the Big H Barbecue Classic, went down to Florida, and competed in a different sort of holiday classic for the first time. Before we get into that, though, how was the holidays for you?
They were good. It's short. When you're playing all the time, man,
Yeah.
you look up and it's time to come back to work. So didn't get a whole lot of a break.
I'm sure it did feel a lot different because I know since the 5 years that I've covered you all, you haven't competed in two Christmas tournaments. And I know with Ari being in the Ladies Classic, you've probably been around games more the last few years. But yeah, you had games each week around Christmas and New Year's. So I'm sure it did feel a little different this year.
It was quick.
And then let's talk about going all the way back to the Big H Barbecue Classic, going down to Rogersville again to play at Cherokee, a great tournament that those guys always put on down there at Cherokee. I think you ended up going 1-2 down there in Cherokee. Take me through that whole tournament and your trip through it this year.
It is a good tournament, and I appreciate those guys continuing to invite us back. Of course, you get down there, and it's a little bit different now than what it used to be because I think just about all the county schools are playing in it.
Yeah, almost.
So got down and played Cosby and wound up having to come back from behind, but beat Cosby in that first round and got North Greene in the semis. And North Greene's playing well. They played well that night. They had the Darnell kid, I think, put up 25 or 26 points on us. So they beat us in the semis. And then I told Tolliver, in that third, fourth place game, I was like, dude, I've got kids that don't ever play. I said, I'm playing at everybody. I'm playing it like a scrimmage. So I put my starters out there for about the first 4 or 5 minutes and then yanked everybody and played my other kids the rest of the game. And he did the same thing. So it worked out good for us. It was play those guys again at least once, probably 2 more times when it's all said and done before the year's over. And I just felt like it wasn't one of those big deals. You win third place or fourth place in a tournament, it don't really make any difference. I don't like to lose games no matter what, but we kind of played that one a little bit differently than what we normally would. And then we got to go to Florida and play. And
warm weather.
Yeah, those first 3 days, man, we got out Sunday, it was 80 degrees and got to play around on the beach. There was no games on Sunday, so we kind of had a free day. And we played 3 quality teams down there. We played New Brockton out of Alabama in the first round, and they were good. And somehow, I don't know how, but somehow we slopped around and beat them by 2. And then played Metcalf out of Kentucky, who was extremely good. Wound up beating us by 20. And then we finished up a tournament against Alpha, Florida, and I think we wound up beating them about 16, so 15 or 16, somewhere around there. But overall, man, even when you get beat and you get to go back to the beach, it's a pretty good day. So Pensacola was good to us, and those guys invited us back. So my intentions are to head back that direction next year if everything works out.
And tell me a little bit more about the Florida trip too, because it's a little different. You don't see teams within Greene County travel out of state often, especially not across many state lines down to Florida. So how did that tournament come to fruition? How did you find out about it and get involved with it?
Well, we've tried to take kids for the last several years. I've tried to take kids every now and then out of this place and play. I took 2 teams to the Bahamas. Had another team scheduled to go to the Bahamas when some hurricanes hit and destroyed everything there, and we decided we weren't going. But had a good group of kids, and Coach Greg, I do have a little bit of loyalty because my daughter's playing for the girls, so I didn't really want to schedule anything after Christmas. I wanted to be here to see her play. But we found out about this tournament, and he asked me if he could go with us, and which was a win-win for me. I could go take my team and play and have my daughter with me. So we kind of got to looking around. There's different tournaments in Florida. There's one in Daytona. There's one in Fort Walton, and some different areas down there. And I had talked to the guys from Unicoi County, and they've been to Pensacola a couple times, and said it was a really good tournament. They pair you up based on your size of your school and returning players and that kind of thing. So I felt like it was a well-ran organization. I think there was 5 pools of boys, and everybody was in our pool was competitive. It wasn't like anybody was blowing anybody out. So it was good for us. It was good for my kids. We went 2-1 and got to spend some time together. We went out and ate team meals and team breakfast every morning, and they had their free time. I had some kids get to go play golf and do shopping things with their parents, and I think it was an overall good trip for everybody. On day 2, they were already asking me if we could do this again next year, so
That's awesome.
It was a good deal.
How was the tournament atmosphere too? Because like you mentioned, you have 5 different pools. You have, I think, different locations, of course, with that many pools. So how was the atmosphere like throughout that tournament?
It was good. Gyms, they weren't full, but there were several people there to watch games, and even some locals from Florida were there to watch games. And we actually played at a community center. Didn't really know what that was going to be like, but we got there, and they had 2 really nice gyms in this place, and tennis courts outside, swimming pool, softball, baseball fields. It was a nice little area. But when it's all said and done, I did tell my guys we went to play basketball, but that wasn't the most important part of the week. So a lot of those times, those trips are made to get your team together and try to get something going for that second half of the year.
I can guarantee you the weather there was a lot better than it was here. There was one day, I think, where it almost hit 70. I remember walking out of Hal Henry Gymnasium, and it felt so nice outside with the sun down. And then the very next day, it was a high of 33.
Yep.
That's Tennessee weather, and it's about to be like that again, as you see. It's about 60 today, and it'll be down into possible snow flurries next week. But shifting gears into, more importantly, the most important part of your season now. We get into January and February, you'll have a non-conference game here with Granger, but after that, it just feels like it's district all the way throughout. So we'll talk about that right after this quick break, so stick with us. We'll talk about those games here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if, instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Tommy's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommy's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself. Tommy's is the only one to call when you need a fast, reliable, professional plumber in the Tri-Cities.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect: games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greenville, expect the unexpected: low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at GatewayNissanGreenville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greenville.
Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, joined here with Rebels head coach Terry Hoese. So you've got Granger coming up, more of your out-of-conference best friends, I would like to say. Yep. They come in here on Friday before you get back into conference action again on Tuesday with Happy Valley. So take me through what you expect with Granger coming in here on Friday. Played against them earlier this year, had a big lead, let it go, and ended up getting defeated in that game. So what are you going to do this Friday to ensure that doesn't happen?
Hope they don't get here. No. Wolfenbarger and I are really good friends, and he's already sent me a text and told me that it was snowing in Granger County and didn't know if they could get here. So he's got some kids hurt, so I really don't know what to expect about tomorrow night. But I got up 32-16 on that bunch down there in the first half, and they don't stop. So we're a lot alike. Our kids are a lot alike. It ought to be a good game in here tomorrow night. It'll be a battle.
And whenever you're playing a team like that where the coach calls you and tells you that they have players injured, do you, not per se get a little nervous, but do you kind of wonder how you guard that? Because it's not the normal team that you'll see on film, so it's kind of like you're going in blind in a sort of way. Am I getting something there?
Because you don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to play the majority of the same people we played there. I know he's got one kid that is really good that won't be playing tomorrow night, but he'll have them ready. He does a good job of motivating. They'll play hard, and he always finds a way to slop it up. I say we do the same thing sometimes. I beat him last year, and we had a boxing one on him, and he met me at half court after the game and grabbed me, and he said, "You sucker." He said, "I've never seen you run a boxing one." So I told him, I was like, "Dude, I'll do anything to win except cheat." But it's a good game for us. It's competitive, kind of gets you ready for conference play, and it's also nice. I tell people I'm at that point where it's fun to go play people that you enjoy being around, and even the girls' coach Rusty down there. We've always had a good relationship, and we were in that conference forever.
Yeah.
And we've continued to play since we've been out. So hopefully that can continue over the years. We've got a good friendship, and whatever happens tomorrow night, that'll continue.
I miss the old brack.
Yeah,
that's what I grew up on. Going into Happy Valley on Tuesday, you get back into conference play now. Looking to get that first conference win of the season after starting 0-2. We talked about it on the last interview a few weeks ago. It's hard to start the conference season 0-2. You're looking to get back into that win column on Tuesday with Happy Valley. What's it going to take?
They're good.
Much improved.
Yeah, Coach Williams, he makes them play hard, and they'll be disciplined. It'll be one of those deals where if we're making shots, we'll have a chance to win, and if we don't go make shots, he'll have a chance to beat us. So the conference is a lot better than from top to bottom, I feel like, than what it has been in a while. And I don't think there's any gimmies anywhere.
No.
So we'll have to play really well in here. I'm happy that it's the first round's at home. So try to defend home, and we've already dropped one to Unicoi County at home, so we're going to try to go avenge that one there. But try to win your home games, and hopefully you can get an upset here or there on the road and finish toward the top. That's, at this point, you've got to finish in the top half.
And that's what I was going to go into next. I don't like to jump ahead and talk about a lot of games, but you talked about stealing one of those on the road. The next conference game that you have on the road is against Unicoi County, yes, who right now are tied with West Greene at first place, who's already beaten you, and that will be your next road game. Looking at the schedule before that, you've got 5 very winnable games. Granger, Happy Valley, University High, which you've already beat, Chucky Doak, Johnson County, and then you go into that Unicoi game. So how beneficial would it be to end up getting 4 or 5 wins out of those 5 games right there, going into an important part of your schedule with Unicoi and West Greene back-to-back again?
It's all about momentum. I tell everybody, you can win all those games the first year, but if you're not playing well at the end of the season, you may go to the house in the first round of the district tournament. So get going right here. You can win 4 or 5 and get some momentum going, and you don't know how those are going to end up at the end, especially with sickness and injuries and everything else. If you can stay healthy, you never know what's going to happen toward the end. So if you finish in that top 4 and not struggle, and I don't know that we can finish in the top 4. Chucky Doak's much improved. Johnson County puts up 102 points against Hampton. There are no give-me's. So to finish in the top half of this conference is going to take some good basketball here in the second half. So if we can get 3 or 4 wins right here and get going, I like our chances a lot better.
And then looking at the conference action on Tuesday, the last thing we'll look at, you've got Happy Valley coming in here to play. You're going to end up having Chucky Doak, who hosts Johnson County on Tuesday, and then you're going to have West Greene, who hosts Unicoi County on Tuesday. That'll be your conference games to open up, I guess, the 3rd game for each team. But very winnable schedule ahead, as I mentioned. You've got Granger coming in here looking to avenge that loss, Happy Valley, and then University High, Chucky Doak, and Johnson County before you get into those 2 important games with Unicoi and West Greene. But unless there's anything else you've got to add, I believe that's all we got.
I guess with West Greene and Unicoi playing on Tuesday,
we'll come in here next week.
There'll be a leader.
Yeah.
There won't be any ties anymore. So, a lot of things will change even this early in the season.
It's my favorite part of the year because we can come in here each week and talk about what has shifted within the conference. You do it in December, it's kind of just, you play 2 games. Yeah. Here's how we're going to look for the next month. But you come in here this time of the season during January, February, it shifts each week. And normally during the week too, things shift that we don't even get to talk about.
Yeah, you look, man, that's what I told my kids yesterday. We're about 5 weeks till district tournament, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So this January and February, basketball seems like a long season, but once you get back after Christmas, man, it seems like it just flies through. So there'll be some determination where everybody's going to land here in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Got some very important games coming up. We'll come in here on Wednesday, hopefully next week, and talk about how the conference is shaking up on Tuesday. But before then, if you've got the opportunity on Friday night, come out to South Greene and support the Rebels when they host Granger girls action. We'll start at 6:30 with the varsity boys following that. And then on Tuesday, you can come out and watch them play Happy Valley in that district game against the Warriors that we mentioned. So if you got the opportunity to come out to South Greene on Friday or Tuesday, come out and do so. But Coach, I believe that's all I got this week.
Appreciate you, Tyler.
All right, absolutely.
Thank you, buddy.
Enjoy sitting down again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.